Happy birthday to me. You know, I'm just at the house. I'd like to thank all of y'all for these yearly happy sobriety birthdays to me. Hopefully I'll be getting out to fellowship at some meetings and take me a cake somewhere. I don't know where. Well, you know I'm in the LA area, so we got many. Hella five. AA and I normally do CA groups, Cocaine Anonymous type of groups. But like the picture say, shows y'all right in there on my Facebook page, that's the way I was looking right in my disease. But towards the end, before I didn't receive this birthday 22 years ago, man, September the 27th, reminded me of something. When I got into the process of recovery of the 12 steps, and I got a sponsor, and I started doing step studies, book studies, and 12 and 12 studies and stuff. These are the books, these are the textbooks that you know, that we go to learn more about our illness. But that first paragraph, and I would like to read it, when I got well on into the first step, and I was at a step study, where we had a book that's called the 12 and 12. So, you know, it's the light blue one. In that first paragraph, the last sentence of the first step mentioned something like, you know, an act of Providence. And that's what I saw on that last day. When I had my last hit and my last drink of that old 8-ball, that old English. And what it say, who cares to admit complete defeat? Who, me, MC. Practically no one, of course. Every natural instinct in my being, see, but it say here, it cries out against the ideal that personal powerlessness, me, MC? Dude, you know I've been to school, trade tag, and you know, dance, and dude, you mean, everything in me just cries out. It is truly awful to admit that glass, that drink, that pipe, that manipulation, everything in my hand have warped my mind into such a reception for destructive drinking. Not only destructive, my mind, warped my mind is the main clue in this. Mine was so warped that I thought like, hey, can a lightning bolt just hit me? Why I gotta go to the program? Because I got a nudge from the judge. That's why. So due to all that trying to control, and then it says this, and that's how I know that it was an act of Providence. There's such an exception for destructive drinking that only an act of Providence can remove it from us. So that's one of the words that I underlined. And I looked it up, and then, you know, but at that time when I looked it up, they didn't have no 12 and 12 dictionary out at that time. What I looked it up in was in that big old dictionary I told y'all about. This one. And then, you know, in other words, the act of Providence is like everything is said in the beginning of that paragraph. That you know, all of my best thinking, my common sense, my so-called collective knowledge wasn't enough to keep me sober. So, you know, for those of y'all that's out there in recovery, keep it moving. This is an action program. All those fellowships have a plan of action. Alcoholics Anonymous, Cocaine Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Nicotine Anonymous, Meth Anonymous, Emotional Anonymous, Debitor Anonymous for those that like spending and stuff like this. So, you know, they all have something that then got an individual to a place where, you know, one day you're just going to have to try to figure, just as like me, I had to come to the conclusion that I am totally defeated. I've been getting in the ring with Mike Tyson, someone said. It's like I got into the ring with Mike Tyson with gloves on, and he had on none. And then I'm in a delusion thinking that I'm going to win. So, but this act of Providence, it allowed me to reflect that how I end up in this situation. To be at a detox center, to get a nudge from the judge. No one at these liquor stores knew I got kicked out of the program, so my last day was really like 1 week because I got kicked out of the Jan Clayton Center prior to, getting into the program. So I had a week run with a bench warrant out from me. So all of these was like acts of Providence. Everybody in the community knew that week they was already saying like, aren't you supposed to be in the program? But my common sense and my knucklehead said, well, I probably can get away with it if I don't get arrested. But then I was thinking about the money that, my family then spent to try to keep me from going to jail. So I went on and, walked down, got on the bus somehow. Then I walked because I remember a liquor store somewhere nearby Figueroa and 8th Street, and I ended up at the VOA. And I remember going to sleep. And the funny thing about that is that my mother worked at the VOA, and her friends worked at Volunteers of America. And I heard them whispering because I was tired. After drinking all that lemonade and those salami and bologna sandwiches or peanut butter and sandwiches and jelly that they had there, they said, and they whispered, he stayed this time. Now that's something, because I used to be out there when I had a hallucination or I felt like everybody was after me or something. I would go down there to the detox center, but I'll make it back home before my moms or anybody got off work. Because by the time I made it there, in the early days of me thinking I was finna stop, but couldn't stay stopped. Thank God, 22 years, September the 27th, I made it there and I didn't have enough. Because it was like, dang, I can't believe that I gotta go because, they didn't pay this money. I thought I was gonna, my mind was so warped with not getting to a place of defeat. I was hoping that something else would have happened, like, someone else was in jeopardy in the community and I could have took their place to take the rap to give me some rest, to come back, to come up. So I did. I am one of those alcoholics out there that, was suffering from the come-upness. Because each and every day on that, prior to the last run, it was always telling me that I was finna come up and be able to control and enjoy my drinking, my smoking, my life. So, what